Picks up about 3 on first down. Craig Hayward, earlier this week there were reports that maybe there would be a trade in this future. He doesn't want to be traded. Didn't get a chance to play that much, but it's no knock on Hayward, according to Jim Mora.
Jim Mora says that Buford Jordan is just a better football player at this time, that Craig Hayward has not been able to beat out Jordan at fullback, and you're not going to replace Dalton Hilliard at halfback. So Hayward's just got to have to play better next year to get in the lineup.
That was his first carry. Second down and 6. Hilliard gets to midfield, and that'll bring up third down. Darryl Talley making the stop for the Buffalo Bills. Bills know with a victory today that they would eliminate both the Patriots and the Colts from division title consideration, and would also set up a perhaps chance to clinch the division if the Miami Dolphins are beaten by New England tonight in the Orange Bowl. Or check that, Joe Robbie Stadium. Yes. I stand corrected.
Well, have a seat then.
3rd and 3.
In the corner.
Fourcade. Pass is complete to Perriman, and that'll be a first down. Chris Hale pushes him out of bounds, and Perriman, having one of his better days of the season, gives the Saints a first down in Buffalo territory to the 42.
That's Kevin Haverdink, and he got hurt the play before blocking against Bruce Smith. And this has been a problem. He has had a bad back, and it appears that that's the problem now. Those back spasms can really cripple you.
Saints are without Brad Edelman, who has an injured knee, and they put Steve Court, their center, on injured reserve with a knee injury. So if Haverdink is banged up, that depletes an already weakened offensive line.
You still have time to get in on Chevrolet's last great deals of the decade, with cash back on our best sellers, Corsica, and on the roomy Lumina sedan.
And more great deals on select Geos, the new line of import-inspired cars.
And to make these deals better, GMAC offers a plan with no payments for 90 days.
So see your Chevrolet Geo dealer for great deals on select 89 and 90 models.
Before the last great deals of the decade are yesterday's news.
My baby don't care for shows. My baby don't care for clothes. My baby just cares for me.
Share the fantasy. Chanel number 5.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans, or had you forgotten?
This NFL game summary is sponsored by Levi's 506 jeans. Cut a little fuller in the thigh for extra comfort.
Big game for the New Orleans Saints. Total yardage against a very fine offense against Buffalo. Fourcade, replacing Bobby Hebert, has thrown for 268 yards. 19-19 the score with just under 13 minutes to go. Do you think the win factor is that big? We've been talking about it all game, favoring the Buffalo the rest of the way.
Well, I think if it comes down to a field goal, they definitely will have it at their back. Big problem now for the Saints. They got to retool their offensive line. Haverdink goes out. Dombrowski now moves from left guard to left tackle, and Jeff Walker comes in at left guard.
First down for the Saints on the Bills 42. Hayward at the top of your picture. Hilliard. And the Bills don't let him get anything. No gain on the play. Shane Conlon and Leonard Smith pushed him out of bounds.
Well, this is what it's like being a running back in the NFL today. Dalton Hilliard doing it, trying as hard as he can. About 3 different choices. Now he's got to get hit by about 6 guys, and the last guy is going to take him down about 6 yards out of bounds, Leonard Smith.
A back sprain is the word on Kevin Haverdink. Questionable whether he'll be back. Three tight ends on 2nd and 10. One wide receiver for New Orleans. Hilliard fumbles. Buffalo has it. So the Saints have turned it over twice here in the second half, and it was Leon Seals who makes the recovery for the Bills.
This is the second fumble of the day for Hilliard. Fourcade recovered the first one. Good blocking up in front to begin with, but Ray Bentley comes in with his left hand and punches it loose, and then Seals outfights Hilliard for the ball on the ground.
Big play by Seals, and the Bills with a first down on their 44. Turnovers are all even. Kelly on first down, going deep for Andre Reed, and it's knocked down on a terrific defensive play by Robert Massey. A lot has been said about Massey. They're picking on him a lot this year, but the rookie with 5 interceptions made a great play there.
Well, he really covers well, but he hasn't quite developed the techniques to finish off a play. But maybe he has. Watch as he stays step for step with Andre Reed on the outside here, and then gets his left hand up just in time to knock it away. But Massey has been much maligned this year, but he has a lot of talent, and he is only a rookie.
2nd down and 10. Kelly getting pressured, dumps it off to Thurman Thomas. Dave Waymer will wrap him up inside the 40 of the Saints, but not before Thomas gets 18 yards.
Great job of improvising by Thurman Thomas here, as he was supposed to come out on the screen. Normally he would come out here, but all the Saints go out there, so he steps up into the middle. Kelly keeps his eye on him and finds him wide open. He sees that the screen isn't going anywhere, finds a little opening in front of his blockers. Kind of a screen in reverse there, and that's a big play for the Bills.
Best total yardage gainer in the National Football League. First down on the 39 of the Saints. Kelly with a quick toss and a fine catch by Reed. Tough to bring him down. And is stopped at about the 25-yard line by Robert Massey. That time, Reed picked up 14 yards.
Well, the Bills are in their wind at your back offense. In other words, Jim Kelly's going to be airing it out here. 3 passes in a row now. That's an outstanding grab by Reed. Now he's trying to set up Massey, but Massey gets help from the inside from Ricky Jackson.
4 catches, 35 yards for Andre Reed, and a first down for Buffalo on the Saints 25. Thomas. Good power. Thurman Thomas barrels his way to the 20-yard line and gets 5 yards that time.
Coaches like to call this just mushing the ball forward. Give it to your running back right in the middle of the defensive line, and then have all your offensive linemen kind of converge on that spot, and everybody just push or mush.
Today, though, only 69 yards compared to what they have accomplished in their last 4 home games. You can credit the Saints defense for a lot of that. The big fullback gets to the 16-yard line. Gain of that time of 4. It'll be 3rd down and a long one for the Bills. Tied at 19 apiece. At one time, the Saints led 13-0. The Bills then took a 19-16 lead, and after an Andersen field goal, it's been tied ever since.
Sometimes it pays to be predictable when you got a 270-pound fullback in your backfield. Just turn around and hand it to him. How important is this wind? In the second quarter, when the Bills had it at their back, they only had 3 possessions. They scored 1 touchdown and 2 field goals.
That's 3 scores
in 3 possessions.
9:20 remaining in the 4th quarter. 1st and 10 on the 13. 2 tight ends for the Bills. play fake. Down he goes. Smart move for Kelly. Frank Warren makes the sack on him. A loss of 3 yards on the play, but the Saints secondary did a blanket job on the Bills receivers.
Well, Kelly wanted to run this ball after a while, but even on a cold day like today, he could feel the hot breath of the Saints defensive line, in particular Geathers and Frank Warren.
Each team has picked up 2 sacks today. 2nd down and 13. The ball is on the New Orleans 17. Kelly picked off. Toy Cook. It was off Thurman Thomas's hand, I believe, and Toy Cook with the interception, and the 3rd turnover of the game for the Saints stops what looked like an inexorable rally by the Bills here.
This is his 2nd interception for Kelly. This is Thurman Thomas. Again, it's the same type of play where he fakes going out on the screen and then goes down the field. And again, Kelly is victimized by a ball bouncing off one of his receivers and into the hands of the New Orleans Saints. That's a bad throw. Thomas had to do all he could to get up in the air to try to make the grab, but all he did was set it up for Toy Cook and the interception.
2nd interception of the year for Toy Cook. 1st down, Saints on their 15. Hilliard gets about 3 yards. Tackle made by Scott Radisick. So after Hilliard had fumbled, turning it over to Buffalo. Buffalo with the wind at its back starting the 4th quarter. And into the 4th quarter, a key interception here, and now the Saints see what they can do in a tie game.
Well, the ball is starting to bounce their way. All year long, they've been beaten by big plays defensively. Today, they're coming up with them. But there's that 12 points there that Buffalo scored in those 3 possessions in that 2nd period when they had the win at their back.
2nd and 7. Fourcade completes it to Hobie Brenner, and that'll be enough for a 1st down to the 26-yard line. Leonard Smith makes the stop. Buffalo has scored 121 points in the 4th quarter. New Orleans hasn't done all that well. In fact, not only in the 4th, but the 3rd quarter as well this season.
But the Buffalo Bills have given up a lot of points in that 4th quarter as well.
1st down at the 25. Fourcade. Hobie Brenner can't handle it. That'll bring up 2nd down, and you wonder whether the wind affected that toss.
Well, I'm also wondering why the Saints are going to so many drop back passes lately. They're not moving Fourcade out of the pocket as they were earlier. The Bills may have something to do with that because they were effective in that 2nd quarter of blitzing Fourcade when he did roll out.
Impressive numbers for John Fourcade with his 1st NFL start since the strike-shortened year of '87. 2nd down and 10. Dalton Hilliard driven back, but his forward motion will carry out to the 29, a gain of 3.
This is how you make All-Pro. Bruce Smith, number 78, fights the double team block here from Tice and Dombrowski, battles right through it and is in on the tackle. Not only do you have to sack quarterbacks, you've got to hold your position at the line of scrimmage in order to make that trip to sunny and warm Honolulu.
4 tackles and 1 sack for Smith. There's Hilliard. They bring him out wide right.
Wide right all the way to the bench.
He's on the right sideline now.
I'm not so sure he's happy about being out of the game. Looked like he wanted to stay in.
Fourcade is going to call another timeout. That'll be the 2nd timeout by the Saints in the 2nd half. Boy, looking at the way Hilliard longingly was looking at the huddle, he probably didn't understand why he was out of the game.
Only Jim Mora knows why.
Pure. Genuine. Never heat pasteurized. A beer that's made unlike any other. Cold filtered to give you the rich, smooth taste of real draft beer. That's the mark of a great beer. So tap into the cold. Cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
Every year, it gets harder to keep the guys' hands off their gifts. That's because I always give them good-looking isotoner gloves. So I'm hiding them in my locker. Now they won't be grabbing these comfortable, great-fitting gloves. So take care of the hands that take care of you. But take care where you put the isotoner gloves. And now, Isotoner fans, there's a present for your feet. Isotoner's introducing slippers and socks for men. Catch them at fine stores everywhere.
We asked Mike Schmidt to help us show you why the new half-ton Chevy work truck is better than Ford. With more two-sided galvanized steel, more standard power, and a new Duragrill that's tougher than Ford.
The lawyers told me I couldn't hit a Ford like this. Know why? You know why. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Today's truck is Chevrolet. The duel in Denver. The Giants, fighting to keep their playoff hopes alive, battled the AFC West champion Broncos. An interconference clash of titans today.
Back here in Buffalo, the Saints had called a timeout, and now, after New Orleans sent out a different group of offensive people at the last second, Buffalo then called a timeout themselves. It's their first of the second half. So the chess game between Marv Levy and Jim Mora going on here. This is an interesting story. Dalton Hilliard has outgained the Buffalo Bills rushers 77-75.
Well, Dalton Hilliard went over and told Jim Mora, hey, listen, I've outgained the Buffalo Bills 77-75 all by myself. I think I ought to be in the ballgame. But Marv Levy today, before the game, told me that, listen, we know the Saints are tough to run against, but we're not going to abandon the run. As far as stopping the run, the Saints have gotten the big edge today.
Thurman Thomas has gained only 40 yards. He had over 1,100 coming in. 3rd and 7. And I wonder whether Leon Seals feels he was drawn off by Jim Dombrowski. Again, the Saints had to make a change in the offensive line, moving Dombrowski to tackle and Jeff Walker to guard when Kevin Haverdink came out.
False start, number 72, offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Seals came across first, but he did not make contact. Dombrowski came up out of his stance, looking to protect his quarterback, and they call it on Dombrowski because Seals did not make contact.
That changes the picture on both sides of the ball, and Jim Morris sends in the extra wide receivers. He should have 4 there now on 3rd and 12. Philadelphia over Dallas 20-10, and scores coming away. Fourcade going up on top for Martin. He makes the catch, and it'll be a first down at midfield. Eric Martin with a 26-yard gain, and a Buffalo defender is shaken up. Mark Kelso made the tackle on a clutch 3rd down and 12 pass,
and Kelso's down after that hit of Martin.
Martin has now caught 4 passes for an even 100 yards.
Martin is number 84 in the slot here, working against Mickey Sutton. And again, Fourcade just throws a perfect pass as he lofts it over Hagee's head, and then Kelso has to come across to make the tackle. But this man right here has got the hot hand, and he's letting everybody know about it.
Well, you know, the best game for Bobby Hebert this year was 308 yards against the 49ers. Fourcade today, and we still have 6:42 remaining, has thrown for 302 yards. So he's on his way to surpassing Hebert's best.
And in asking Mora about the decision and what he plans for the future, this is not a one-game tryout. Or maybe it is. As well as Fourcade is playing, there's no way he won't start the next game, or maybe even the next one after that. So I think the fans in New Orleans have something to talk about as far as their quarterbacks are concerned.
Hebert trying to keep warm with the hood. First down at midfield. Carrying the ball is Buford Jordan. And Jordan picks up 11 yards on that clip inside the 40 of Buffalo. And this is a team going into the face of the wind here in the fourth quarter in a 19-19 battle.
And it's hard to figure out what type of range Morten Andersen has in this type of wind. One thing we know for sure, he has more kicks of 50 yards or longer than just about anybody in the NFL, 30 in his career.
First down on the Bills 39. Hilliard scoots through a couple of tacklers and picks up 5 yards on that run. Leonard Smith, the strong safety, on the tackle.
Well, the right side of the Saints line, Brock and Hobie Brenner and Trapillo are doing a fabulous job of pushing the Bills back, and then Hilliard, using his eyes, finds the hole and gets up for about 5.
Look at the big edge that the Saints have in the total offense over Buffalo in this half. But we're tied at 19. Second down and 5. Buford Jordan gets the first down, fights his way with good second effort to the 21-yard line of Buffalo. A gain of 13 for Jordan. And now the Saints are running through the Buffalo Bills with 5:10 remaining.
Well, we talked about the right side of the line. Let's look at the left side. Walker is 78, Dombrowski 72. Good standoff there from Bruce Smith, but the key is the block of the center, Hilgenberg, and how Buford Jordan read it, cut back to the weak side and picked up a big gain.
First down on the 21. Saints have scored on 2 early turnovers by the Bills, trying to do it a third time here in the last quarter. Again, they go to Jordan. Jordan gets inside the 15 and picks up 8 yards with some strong, powerful running. Making the tackle was Darryl Talley.
How do you figure it? Here you got a ball game with one team has every reason to play hard and to win the game in the Buffalo Bills. They always win here in Buffalo. The weather is just the way they want it, and the Saints are coming off of 2 demoralizing losses to the Rams and the Lions. How do you figure?
Jordan is shaken up on this drive alone. He has gained 32 yards in 3 carries. That's 10 yards a clip. We'll be back.
This is something different. The body panels will never rust. The seats can be arranged to seat up to 7. And ask yourself, have you ever traveled like this before? Meet the new Family Lumina APV. When it comes to new ideas for the family, nobody's winning like.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevrolet.
Premium champagne.
Looks like Winter just did in that poor fellow's battery. Wonder if he's smart enough to replace it with a battery built for extremes. A maintenance-free, high-cranking Delco. Smart fella.
AC Delco parts. They don't just fit, they match.
Monday, when the crew's on strike, can Murphy serve up a settlement?
You're not leaving here until we can come up with a deal and until that cake is gone, and I mean every crumb.
Murphy Brown.
This Tuesday, if you must watch a comedy or a cop show, tape it. Because you won't want to miss television's most anticipated event.
A child. The pregnancy, it's not normal.
Beauty and the Beast, it's not a fairy tale anymore.
Buford Jordan was shaken up, still on the sidelines as Craig Hayward has replaced him. Morten Andersen getting ready in case he's called upon to try to break this tie.
One thing St. ball carriers have to do now is hang on to that ball. Don't try to struggle for too many yardage. Important thing is to keep possession.
2nd and 2 on the 13 of Buffalo. Pitch to Hilliard. Hilliard has the first down and hit hard at the 5 by Dwight Drain, who replaced Mark Kelso, the free safety who was injured a little while ago. But it's a first down and goal for the Saints as we wind down to 4 minutes remaining in this game.
Well, you can see the offensive linemen of the Saints. They're pumping their arms in the air. They know that they've taken control of this ball game in this drive. Fourcade got the long pass to Eric Martin that set it up, but since that, all they've done is taken that ball and just pounded it straight ahead at the Buffalo defense.
11th play of the drive upcoming. Saints started on the 15 following an interception by Toy Cook. 1st and goal. Hilliard, no gain. Maybe a loss of 1. Fred Smerlis, the veteran nose tackle.
As well as they're running the ball now, it wouldn't surprise me if the Saints come with some type of play action where they fake the ball one side and bring Fourcade out on a bootleg and give him the option to either run or throw.
Carl Smith signaling in the play from the sidelines. Hayward and Lonzel Hill come into the game for the Saints. 2nd and goal on the 6. The pitch to Hilliard. Hayward blocking, and Hilliard gets to the 5. It'll be 3rd and goal. That time, Tommy Cofield. Timmy Cofield on the tackle.
Yeah, Timmy Cofield, number 90 here, used to play for the Kansas City Chiefs when Levy was the coach there. He remembered him because of this type of strength. One-arm tackle around the neck of Hilliard right down to the turf.
Don't tell him I said Tommy first.
Well, I might, because I still have a headache from this fella. He knocked me out in a game in Kansas City that I didn't think that phone would ever stop ringing. Tough, big, strong guy. A lot of athletic ability.
They're going to let the clock wind down to the 2-minute warning. The 2-minute warning. A big 3rd down play coming up for the Saints, and if they don't make it, they've got Andersen. We'll be back.
So I'm running late. I had to call Phoenix, so I'm using this other long-distance company. I dialed the wrong number. I got this guy in Fiji.
What? Is this Phoenix?
No, you reached Fiji.
I dial again. Fiji again.
What are you
So I
kidding?
called the operator for credit. She said I'd have to talk to customer billing. I said, AT&T operators gave me instant credit. She said, you are not dealing with AT&T.
Well, I am now.
People who thought they could do better than AT&T are coming back for the real value. Aren't you glad you never left?
Who's pulling away in advanced 4x4 technology, Chevy S10 Blazer or Ford Bronco 2? Chevy pulls away in power with the biggest V6 engine in its class. Chevy pulls away with InstaTrack, America's favorite four-wheel drive system. Chevy pulls away in fun with the country's #1 sport utility vehicle. When it comes to today's 4x4s, it's Chevy S10 Blazer, clean and simple. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Today's truck is Chevrolet.
On October 28th, for 2 tempting hours, Mel Kaiser was on Easy Street. I was behind an armored truck. The rear door popped open, and it was raining money. But instead of keeping it, Mel turned in over $57,000. Well, they call me Mr. Honesty. I've been called worse. To everyday heroes everywhere, we offer our best. Smooth, never bitter Miller beer.
I got it. The best comes shining through.
Why me?
This drive, an impressive one by the Saints. 12 plays, 81 yards, using up 6.5 minutes. It all started with an interception by Toy Cook from the 15. Now it'll be 3rd down and 4. 3rd and goal from the 4 with 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Fourcade fires. Touch. No, it's dropped. It's dropped by Hobie Brenner. He had it and lost it. But he was there, and Fourcade had found him.
Obie Brenner, the tight end, after the rollout here from Fourcade. And Fourcade just throws another perfect pass, off balance, against the grain. And Fourcade can't believe it. And he is out.
Morten Andersen will try to break the tie with a 22-yard attempt. With 1:55 to go, and the kick is good. So Morten Andersen has been successful on 3 of 5 tries today. And the Saints, who have led virtually most of the game, trailed one time. Second half had been tied. It's now 22-19.
Watch this grab by Fourcade. The ball is high. He cradles it, gets it down. Andersen doesn't miss a beat, and he drills it. Nice hold for Fourcade, as he's doing it all today.
Andersen's field goal makes it 22-19, but now the Bills have 1 minute and 53 seconds and 2 timeouts with the wind at their backs to try to get at least in position to tie the game, to send it into overtime or win it. Keep in mind, the Bills came into this game needing a win and a Miami loss tonight against New England to wrap up a division title. Coming up next, the Giants will go against the Denver Broncos, who have already wrapped up the AFC West title. The second half of our doubleheader. Jim Kelly getting set to run his team. Andersen will kick off. Ronnie Harmon and Don Beebe. Back, Beebe on the left.
Jim Kelly will have 2 timeouts to work with as we're at the 1:53 mark.
So the Saints have capitalized on 3 Buffalo turnovers and have scored 17 points off of them. Taken by Beebe. And a good return by Beebe beyond the 30 to the 34-yard line. And that's where the Bills will start with 1:48 showing. 2 interceptions and a fumble have accounted for 17 points by the Saints, 17 of their 22.
And that interception of Toy Cooks was deep in Saint territory there. It looked like the Bills were going to go in for at least 3 points then. Turned away, and the Saints get the 3 and the lead.
It's 16, should say 16 because they missed the conversion, but 3 scores off of 3 turnovers. First down, Kelly. Fires. Pass is caught at the 39-yard line, a gain of 5. It was Beebe who makes the stop.
And remember, at the end of the first half, Kelly took the Bills down for a field goal. That's what he's going to try to do now.
Milton Mack made the stop. Second down and 3. Kelly's pass. Picked off. Interception by Brett Maxey. And that may do it. The 3rd interception of the game by the Saints. And the 4th turnover, and the New Orleans Saints are sitting in the catbird seat, leading 22-19, and they have the ball in Buffalo territory.
Brett Maxey picks up his 3rd interception of the year, and this one is all on Jim Kelly, as he does not see number 39 dropping into this zone. The pass was intended here for Flip Johnson on the curl pattern, and there's Maxey just stretching out. It appeared that Maxey was going to take Johnson's head off anyway. And you just got to give this entire organization of the New Orleans Saints a lot of credit for playing an outstanding game today.
Saints with the ball on the Buffalo 48-yard line. Bills still have 2 timeouts, which they'll use defensively. Dalton Hilliard carries the ball to the 45, and the Bills will call the timeout. They have 1 left.
This game at 32nd and 7.
Jim Kelly, who had an off game against Seattle on Monday night, throwing 3 interceptions against the Saints this afternoon.
Two of them really weren't his fault. Actually, one of them wasn't his fault. His very first pass of the day that was picked off. But Jim Kelly is in a bit of a slump here. The weather conditions didn't help him today, but he was clearly outplayed by a guy that not many people expected him to play well, John Fourcade. In fact, Carl Smith told me before the game he really didn't know what to expect. In fact, he put it in the words that he said, well, having John Fourcade play quarterback for us today is kind of like having an unopened Christmas present. Well, Merry Christmas, New Orleans Saints. John Fourcade is a very nice gift.
302 yards, 2 touchdown passes for John Fourcade, a native of New Orleans, who broke Archie Manning's records at the University of Mississippi. 2nd down and 7. The Bills likely will call another timeout after this play. Fourcade on a quarterback keeper slips and is down back at the 48. And the Bills use up their last timeout. Here's the AFC East story right now. Miami playing New England tonight. Buffalo on their way to a loss. Right now they're a game ahead of Miami. Now the Jets lost, so they're in the cellar. The Pittsburgh Steelers beat them. Now if the Dolphins beat the Patriots tonight, they will go into a tie for first with Buffalo. But keep in mind that in a tiebreaker between those two teams, Bills would have the edge because they beat Miami twice this year.
But the schedule really favors the Miami Dolphins because the Bills have to go on the road their last 2. They got to play San Francisco and they've got to play the New York Jets, and they've lost 4 in a row on the road.
Miami with their remaining games at Indianapolis and Kansas City, and the Bills on the road, as you mentioned. As far as the Saints are concerned, despite what appears to be a gutty road win against a tough foe today, their playoff hopes will be dashed. Philadelphia leading Dallas 20-10 in the 4th quarter with under 3 minutes left. And if the Eagles win, that will eliminate the Saints. 3rd down and 10. Bills are out of timeout. Dalton Hilliard tackled at the 46-yard line, 45 of Buffalo. Darryl Talley on the stop. It'll be 4th down, and the Bills cannot stop the clock any longer.
There's about a 13 or 14 second differential between the play clock and the game clock, so the Bills should get the ball back for at least one more play. Saints will run it all the way down before bringing on their punter and giving the ball back to Buffalo.
They got 10 seconds now. But barring a huge mistake and a miracle play by the Bills, the Saints are going to draw even on the year. And a timeout called by the Saints, so each team has used all of their timeouts.
New Orleans, timeout was called with 1 second on the 45-second clock.
You heard it from Dick Jorgensen. They have 1 second left. Well, if you're the Buffalo Bills, all you have to do is look in the mirror, because they had a chance perhaps to get a home field advantage throughout the playoffs. That was a long shot, but they had a chance. Losing to Denver on Monday night and now losing a home game. They came in 6-1 to the New Orleans team.
And they have one chance right now, and that's to block this punt.
Tom Barnhart going back to kick.
And Barnhart has not had one kick blocked all year, so it's going to be tough for Buffalo.
Mickey Sutton is deep for the Bills. He gets it off. Sutton has to field it, and time will tick off. Sutton goes out of bounds with 6 seconds remaining, and this will be the last shot coming up for the Bills. Well, the Saints, if they can hold on for 6 more seconds, will stretch their consecutive winning streak over AFC teams. The Saints will to 11 in a row. The last time they were beaten by an AFC team was the Miami Dolphins 3 years ago.
Remarkable string, but it really shows you how close the teams really are in the NFL. Not that much difference between an 8-5 team, as the Bills were, and a 6-7 team, as the Saints were.
Bills send 7 defenders, 8 defenders back. Hail Mary time for Kelly. And time runs out and the game is over. So the Bills now are in jeopardy of seeing their division lead evaporating if Miami beats New England tonight. And the Saints have won it. So for Dan Fouts, I'm Dick Stockton saying so long from Rich Stadium. The Saints beat the Bills 22-19. You've been watching CBS coverage of the National Football League.